More jihadists being crazy. What's new in the world? Not much, to be fair with you guys. I'm Tall, the traveling clat, favorite Zionist Prince White colonizer. Make sure to subscribe to Hell the channel, and let's get into this clip.
How can you categorize a terror attack in which 1,200 mostly innocent civilian people were brutally attacked, raped, tortured, beheaded, and murdered? How can you, a British NHS doctor or NHS doctor in Britain, how can you say that's a welcome punch on the nose?
Will you let me answer fully?
Yes.
I will be frank. I'll be as concise as I can be. But if you give me the courtesy of letting me answer fully.
Okay.
I will defend the right of the Palestinians to resist an occupation. When you look at that...
That's not resistance, that's terrorism.
When you look at what happened and the 7th of October, as if that is the day that everything started...
I didn't say that.
You didn't say that, but when people look at that...
Do you think what happened that day was a terrorist attack?
When people look...
Do you? Do you?
You know, the word terrorism has become so... politicized.
Actually, not really.
The word
you can
terrorism,
be deeply sympathetic to the plight of Palestinian civilians, which I am, by the way, and have expressed many times. What you can't do is be weaselly-mouthed about what happened on October the 7th.
I asked you to let me
finish. That was
finish.
a grotesque
I will
terror
ask
attack.
you to finish.
Yeah, but you're equivocating about it being a terror attack.
I'm not equivocating, and I will explain why. Okay, the word terrorism, by the way, in India last month.
We're going to talk about India. Talk about what's happened
the word
here.
terrorism in India. People who supported the Australian cricket team have been arrested under terrorist offences. In the West Bank, people who are have been told, if you reveal what happened in the prisons, you will be arrested on terrorist charges.
Do you think what happened October the 7th was a terror attack?
It's a
Did
resistance.
You say no?
It's a resistance.
Not a terror attack.
Piers, and it's
You're
if.
an NHS GP.
If, I'm asking you to let me finish. If. Right, our Islamic standard in conflict, in warfare, our Prophet, peace be upon him, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, you can't kill children, you can't kill women, you can't kill the elderly, you can't mutilate.
Hamas did all that.
If anybody did that,
What do you mean if?
I say if because...
They literally broadcast it on their own streaming platforms.
Well, I'll tell you what a lot of us saw.
Hamas broadcast it merrily to the world.
And
here's us doing these terrible things.
And what do
you mean if?
What many of us saw on that day were videos coming out showing people saying, we will not harm women, we will not harm children.
Do me a favour.
No, that's what...
Doctor.
I'm saying that. Resistance is a right in Islam. It's a right in international law. It's even a right that Churchill said in his History of the English-Speaking Peoples, that is, he actually wrote in that book, it is a primary right of men to kill and die for the land they live in.
You literally read me a description of what people who follow Islam are not supposed to do.
Yeah.
And Hamas did all of those things. But your response is to say, well, hang on, I've seen videos of them saying, we don't want to do that stuff.
No.
I have to pause as a quick commentary / criticism of Piers Morgan. How much time will Piers Morgan spend on the internet, on TV, acting fucking baffled by these Islamic... Why is every time he like, I can't believe you fucking said that. Mate, I can't believe it. Like, Habibi, how many more Muslims do you need to bring on to understand that they overwhelmingly support this? Why are you shocked every time?
Yes.
I find that pretty offensive, Doctor.
We
all know they did it because they boasted to the world with their own videos what they were doing.
I find it amazing that respected journalists like yourself have seemed to have suspended their critical faculties.
No, I'm believing what Hamas wanted me to see.
Well, you're believing what you saw.
What Hamas themselves broadcast to the world because they wanted to take great glee in what they'd done. There's no ambiguity about it.
I asked you to let me finish, and I'm going to...
You've got to answer questions.
I will answer the question. Let's agree on a principle. If atrocities were committed, right, I will never condone them, right? I will say that.
So do you condemn what happened on October the 7th?
If atrocities are committed, you know who's
responsible? What do you mean if?
No,
they were.
Who's responsible for it then?
So you don't condemn it?
Okay. Who is responsible?
The Jews brought it on themselves?
No, actually, I would say more than that. I would say the powers that believe that Israel should be a colony for themselves in the Middle East, they are the ones responsible.
Do you know what? I'm really struggling. I've got to be honest with you. I'm really struggling. A British National Health Service doctor of 25 years, a man who's supposed to be seeing patients all day, every day and putting them right, is incapable of saying what happened when it was literally broadcast to the world by a terror group. Nor do you think they're terrorists. You think it's resistance. You seem to want to go every way to justify it. You don't even believe what they showed us with their own technology. And I'm just curious. Do you think any of this is compatible with you being a doctor in the National Health Service?
You don't have to be a doctor.
Do your patients know that you believe these things?
You don't have to be a doctor to care for the lives of 2 million people in Gaza. You don't have to be a doctor.
I'm concerned about whether your patients here in this country, where Hamas are a prescribed terrorist organisation.
And I've said
whether listening to this interview, do these patients know your views?
I have said to you.
Do they know your views?
I don't talk to my patients about my views in a 10-minute consultation, do I? Nobody does that. It's just a foolish question, isn't it? That's a foolish question. Yeah. Nobody talks to.
Why do you use a different name?
I use my name.
Well, you don't. You have two names. One, the leader of the group.
Yeah. Abdul Wahid is a name that family, friends, and other people call me.
Right.
Actually, even some people.
But that's not the name you use at work, right?
Even some people at work. And Wahid Asif Sheda is my legal name, which people use in other forums. That's not a very unusual thing.
In May 2023, a
Piers,
prominent...
No, I have to... No,
I'm going to ask you another question.
You did not give me the courtesy
of letting me finish.
Because
your answers were so outrageous.
You censor. That's your answer.
No.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
censor. The person doing the censoring is you.
No, you are censoring.
Who wants me to try and understand and believe that what Hamas showed us, boasted about, with their own technology, broadcasting it to the world, was not what we saw. That's called censorship.
Well,
that is actually the purest personification of censoring the truth I've ever encountered.
When you bring Mark Regev onto the show, and you question him, lightweight questioning, albeit lightweight questioning about the atrocities that have happened.
Well, you think it's lightweight? I actually ask you difficult questions.
Actually, you don't ask difficult questions. Yeah, you completely accept. You sit there and listen to the most ridiculous explanations.
Unlike you and your answers, you mean?
Well, you don't give me the chance to say.
No, I've heard your answers.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I have.
You didn't.
I have.
You didn't.
You don't? Well, let's do a little quick fire.
You're telling the answer.
Let's do a little quick fire recap. Do you think Hamas are a terror group?
I believe it's a resistance organisation.
Okay. Do you think what they did on October the 7th was a terror attack?
I believe that if civilians got killed on that day, it is appalling. It is appalling.
You're a doctor, man.
It is appalling.
You're a doctor in the NHS. What do you mean if? 1,200 people got massacred.
And 1% of the population.
I can share your concerns about what's happened.
You know you don't.
Oh no, I do.
No, you don't.
No, I do.
16 years. 16
I cannot
years
believe a doctor is saying the word
16.
if people got victims of atrocity. If on October the 7th. How can you say that?
So what? You tell me this. What is a proportionate response to 16 years of living in a cage?
No.
What is a proportionate response?
Not a terror attack.
What is it?
Not a terror attack.
If they just attacked IDF...
Yeah, I've asked many times what is proportionate,
so do you
right?
accept that? So you're saying just to attack the IDF would have been acceptable?
I personally do not believe...
Answer that.
I'm answering
just
this. Let me answer your
IDF
question.
Acceptable?
I'm going to say this.
We might be able to agree.
I think the strategy at the moment...
Can we answer
Let me answer the question.
If they had agreed...
Let me answer the question. Let me answer the question.
Yes or no? If they had just attacked military targets, acceptable?
My view of what they're doing is I don't think it's going to work. I don't think the IDF is going to eradicate Hamas. And if that is the mission statement, and in the process they kill tens of thousands of innocent men, women and children, if they do that, I think they will radicalise an entire new generation and make it worse. That's my honest view of what I'm now witnessing. But let me come back to... Hang on.
That's why when we talk about a military intervention, what we want...
But, Doctor, what happened on October 7th wasn't a military intervention.
No.
It was a terror attack.
What we want as a military intervention...
And you don't even think it happened, do you?
What we want is a military intervention from Muslim armies to rescue a beleaguered people and replace an apartheid system.
Palestinian people have to be given the same human rights.
Would you do me the respect?
They have to be given... No, I will interrupt you. It's not your show. You don't just talk forever, right?
What's the point of asking
I'm going to tell you what I think about the Palestinian plight, which I've talked about many times. You've obviously missed it. I think they should be given the same human rights as everybody else.
And
particularly the same rights of the Israelis. I think it's been a 75-year conflict with...
conflict?
Yes, a conflict. Yes,
where people have been driven out of their homes.
A conflict.
750,000 people in the Nakba.
Yes, it's wrong. That was wrong.
Encroaching on the West Bank more and more and more.
That was wrong. So have been all the wars launched against Israel. That's been wrong. All of it is wrong. right? The history shows this is a conflict riddled
Things
with
didn't
wrongs on
start
both sides,
on the
right?
7th of October.
No, it
But
didn't.
you-
I never said it did.
Well, you seem to.
No, you don't even think it happened
the
on October
whole
the 7th.
framing of your debate,
you don't
Piers,
even think it happened.
I do think it happened.
Oh, you did
I
happen.
do
It
think
did happen.
happened. It did
1,200
happen.
people were massacred, were
I
they?
think 1,200 people were killed.
Were they massacred?
Yeah, they were killed.
Right,
They
by
were killed.
terrorists?
They were killed by people who were resisting an occupation.
Bullshit.
And
they're terrorists.
yeah, well, that's your view.
It is my view.
Yeah,
And by the way, it's the
and
view
so-
of any person who is not Israeli or Palestinian, right? Anyone can look at it and
I
go,
disagree with that. I
okay.
disagree with that. One man, have you not heard
Let me-
the
I
adage,
wanna-
one man's terrorist is another man's freedom
Yeah.
fighter? Have you never heard
again,
that?
bullshit.
Have you never heard that?
Let me just play. I want to just read you this. In May 2023, Luqman Makim, who's a prominent member of your organisation, called for an end to the secular order so that, quotes, the UK will no longer be able to pump its liberal filth, its LGBT filth, its feminist filth into the heart of the Muslim world. Do you agree with him?
I agree that the West is pumping secular democracy into the Muslim world. And
Including LGBT filth?
I agree that actually what we want to see in the Muslim world is a system with an accountable government, right? An elected leader, upholding family values, right? We want to see an economic system where wealth is circulated.
Do you believe in equal rights for gay people?
I believe that actually the Islamic standard of law should be the standard of law in the country. Obviously, that's the standard I believe in.
And I believe, just to clarify, what is your view of homosexuality?
I believe homosexuality is a sin.
A sin, it's wrong.
A sin.
Sharia. I mean, it is Sharia. That's what he wants. I have a hard time sitting here and being like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. Of course he said it. Of course he said it. Are we shocked? Is anyone here surprised? Is Piers Morgan the only fucking idiot surprised on planet Earth that these people say this stuff? He seems to be the only one genuinely still baffled every time. He's always like, I can't believe he said that. I'm shocked. How fucking dare he? In it? Mate, how fucking dare he in it? He's the only one that's ever fucking baffled all the time by this idiocy coming out of this Islamists. You imported radical Muslims to your country by the truckload. That's what you get. You get a doctor who says this kind of shit. This is it. That's what you get. That's the product. It doesn't get any better than that. That's it. Subscribe to the channel right now. We're about to hit 400,000 subscribers. See you guys in the next one. I love you long time. Goodbye, Clyde. If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to support me, being PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining my Patreon community down below. Patreon is the best way to support my channel, and you'll get a bunch of cool perks depending on what tier you join. Another great way to support me is by buying my merchandise on thetravelingclat.com. I regularly drop new merch designs like this beautiful hat, or this amazing shirt, where you can support the channel and get something cool for yourself. I also have an amazing Discord community with people from all over the world. Thank you so much for your support.